Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns. Today is Tuesday, June the 11th, and it's a bright sunny day sorta outside. We're supposed to get some clouds and maybe some rain, but thought I would show off my cravat. Now, I actually did this in a regular 4-weight yarn or worsted weight, so it is pretty large, but um, I learned a cravat is something very different than a scarf, but I really like the way this came out. I am planning on doing another one in a lighter weight yarn because this just works up so fast. You do one side and then you do the other and then you join them and then you just go around the edges with single crochet. And it just worked up. I think I got one and a half done in about 2 hours, and that's in between cooking supper and talking to husband and finished the other, part of it lickety split. So, if you've not done the cravat, you need to go over and check Wow Crochet. Mary designed this project and has explained how to wear a cravat, exactly what a cravat is. And yeah, I learned something. There's a reason I'm showing you this, where we're sitting. You see where the blinds are? Cindy, that's my front door. The other is the closet door that's supposed to hold all your jackets and things, but it's so small it won't hold everything. We have a vacuum cleaner in there, and then we have the shovel for when we need to shovel the snow, and there's a couple other things in there, and there's about 7 or 8 coats, and the rest have to hang on the coat rack. So no, it's not Bigfoot, although there is a Bigfoot crossing sign upstairs on my bedroom door. And maybe I'll take a picture of that for the thumbnail. You never know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. But I think you can see how beautiful it came out. And the yarns that I used on that were the purple mainstays. And then I used Red Heart Orchid. And this one I am not keeping. It is actually going to go to Enterprise. The kids, they want scarves again this year, so we're going to provide scarves for those kids. But yeah, I received my knit crate, and I did cut it open. Let's see what I got. Ooh, I got the purple. And this is gorgeous. Of course, you've already seen the book and all the goodies that come with it. This is really a nice purple. And it's a chainette, which is basically where it's braided. And it is called We Violets. It's Vitalana Aloft, 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% organic. It is a DK weight, and there are 274 yards. You need to hand wash only and lay flat to air dry. And yes, my hand is starting to itch, so can't even use the baby alpaca. So this is going to get put away for something a little later in life. Now, I also wanted to say, and this happened a little while ago, I had a very generous gift from someone, and that someone was Liliana Jorgea I hope I'm pronouncing the last name correctly, Liliana. But it was to assist in my charity work. And Liliana, as a few days after I got that lovely gift, I had a request for some more fetal demise pouches. So that has gone to purchase flannel for the fetal demise pouches. And I will be putting those together, not this week, but next week I'm putting some together. So thank you for that generous gift. Wonderful. And I did work on the unraveled mittens squares. I think this one was called the braided. I don't remember what it was called. This was block number 10, I believe. And it was, fairly easy. You do the back loop and then a half double crochet. And yeah, it came out nice. Of course, I'm using up scrap yarns. And then this one was the number 11 that came out. And those came out one after the other. And once again, using just some scrap yarns. I think that's maybe lemon, red heart lemon. This is Stitch Studios baby green, light green, something like that. I did finish the shawl that I was making with the picot, and here is that shawl. It has not been blocked, and it is a large shawl. We do need large shawls for some of the larger women, and I made it out of the homemade modern, handmade modern by that's there at Target, and that is all that I have left of 5 skeins. And this was done in the sunrise color. So you need quite a bit to get a large shawl. I could have stopped at 3 and it would have been plenty for just a regular small size shawl for a small woman. But there's needs for shawls in all sizes. So this one was done very large. It comes up under my rear end. So yeah, did really well with that. Works in project. Projects in works. Works in projects. Works in progress. Do I even know where I am today? Possibly not. This is that yarn that I got from Dollar Tree free because of whatever was going on with whatever was going on. So, and I had originally purchased this to make blankets. So, I have started. It's just basically a granny square rectangular. And this is just 3 skeins in. Still a pretty good size. And that is the only work in project I have been actively working on, because I have 5 or 6 over here on the side that I'm going to have to fill in that block that Mama Kayla has for clean up your craft area. So I am going to clean that up, and I have someplace in the other room that I am going to place all the works on projects on an S-hook on a shelf that we have, so that I can take a project down and work on it as we go. I have been ignoring those projects, and I think it's time for me to get them out of the way. I did get one acquisition besides the knit crate, and it was this book called Crochet Every Which Way Stitch Dictionary, and this is by Dora Orenstein, and I really like it because she talks about shaping, ways to do different stitches and to create some shaping with it. And that is something that if I have drawn out a pattern, as in a paper pattern of something that I'm going to make, say a shirt, then I am able to work that shaping in. But other than that, it gets a little confusing when you're adding and taking away stitches and still trying to stay within that stitch that you've chosen for your project. But this book goes into a little more depth about how to do that, and I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading a little bit here and there, and yeah, I'm thrilled that I, purchased the book. That is it for what has been going on, other than sewing bags. I have cut out quite a few. I have another 10 that I'm working on this week to get sewn up. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is to this part of it. And of course, now it's time for What in Tarnation? I have a couple of stories, and one of them is local to us, but I'm going to start with some of the other stories. This one I thought was rather funny, and maybe Cindy got to see it there in Alabama. Giant inflatable cow flies away in strong Alabama winds. Strong winds led to an unusual traffic hazard in Alabama when storm gusts uprooted an inflatable cow from Chick-fil-A restaurant. The one that says eat more chicken. Savannah Wallace captured video amid strong winds showing the giant inflatable cow coming loose from where it was anchored at the Chick-fil-A store in Montgomery. That's where my little sister was born. The video shows the cow collide with a cow, flip over a vehicle, continuing onto a nearby busy road. Flying cows do exist, Wallace wrote. Not flying pigs, flying cows. This one, I'm almost tempted to do it. And the reason I'm tempted to do it is when I was first doing home health in Roanoke, Virginia, we were given a phone. We always had an on-call phone. My very first on-call phone was a satellite phone. If you've never seen that, it's this huge heavy bag you have to carry around. It's attached to this box. And if the satellite's not in the right place, you can't call, you can't get calls. But it was meant for me to be able to call when someone called in. The answering service would contact me when I was on call, so I could call that patient back or family member, or decide, do we need to go to the emergency room, or do I need to come visit first and see what's going on. Well, the second phone I received when I was doing home health was a flip phone. And it was still pretty big. It's a phone about this big, and the bottom part flips up, and it's still about that big. It's got this big antenna on it. That's the phone that this story is about. Company offers $1,000 to use a flip phone for a week. A Utah-based company is offering to pay someone $1,000 if they can complete a simple challenge, downgrading to a flip phone for a week. Frontier Bundles, a Utah-based internet service provider, said it is looking for one brave soul to willingly give up their smartphone for a full 7 days in favor of a flip phone. The ideal candidates are smartphone addicts, social media experts, and tech geeks. Well, that's not me, the last two. the company said, and bonus points go to applicants who have an active social presence or are willing to vlog their experience. The company said the challenge will pay $1,000 if the person selected completes the challenge successfully. They will also receive a survival kit that includes a road map, pocket phone book, a notepad with a pen, and a pair of 1990 era CDs to make the flip phone experience extra nostalgic. I don't miss those flip phones. They were awful. This next story involves food. Bank robber strikes in Israel, threatening tellers with avocado he claimed was a grenade. Bank robber in Israel allegedly burglarized 2 banks last month, not just one, 2, by threatening bank tellers with an avocado he claimed was a grenade. The thief, identified as a 47-year-old man, stole almost $8,400 from 2 banks in Beersheba with his avocado, which he painted black and misspelled handwritten note demanding money from the bank teller. Hand over the money in the drawer, the note read, according to the Times of Israel. The man allegedly told the woman, "Put the money in the bag or I'll quickly throw this grenade." The robber was holding the edible grenade and got away with nearly $4,500. Less than a week later, the man pulled the same stunt using the imposter grenade at another bank and successfully stole more than $3,300. Investigators were able to track the man's cell phone and identified him as a former convict who previously served 3 years for robbery. An avocado, people. This next one, I giggled when I read this a lot because, when I graduated physical therapy and they gave me the shirt that I chose, I yelled, "Dobby is a free elf." So this one has to do with the video. Bizarre video of creature resembling Dobby the Elf of Harry Potter caught on home camera. A strange video circulating online shows an elf-like creature many are saying resembles the character Dobby from the Harry Potter film franchise. The short clip has gone viral after being posted to Twitter on Friday by a user who says it was put up on a Facebook page of a woman named Vivian Gomez. Security camera at the home captured the clip, which shows a small figure with skinny legs and large ears walk down a driveway and do a dance. Let's dance. In what appears to be the original post, Gomez said she woke up on Sunday to see the bizarre footage. "First I saw the shadow walking away from my front door, then I saw this thing." "Has anyone else seen this on their cameras?" she asked. The lady posted this and said she saw this on her home camera this morning. What do y'all think it is? And that was where it went to Twitter. Some eagle-eyed Twitter users pointed out that at one point in the video there appears to be 2 shadows, and mused that someone could have created the elf-like puppet and set it off. Whatever the explanation is, the sighting is certainly bizarre. Harry Potter fans were eager to celebrate a possible return of Dobby as the beloved character who tragically died in the 6th film in the franchise, Deathly Hallows. Reactions to Dobby's death were so emotional that writer J.K. Rowling was moved to apologize on Twitter in 2018 for killing off the free elf. "This year I apologize for killing someone who didn't die during the Battle of Hogwarts, but who laid down his life to save the people who'd win it. I refer, of course, to Dobby, the house elf. And I'm going to leave a link down below to that Twitter page so that you can see the video yourself. It's rather interesting. I thought it was cute. Now this one is local. And at the very end I'm going to show you some footage of that building so that you can kind of see what it was talking about. We have a local gentleman who works at the library. He is very knowledgeable about the history of this area of Lock Haven and the surrounding area. He is someone who practices his belief of saving the earth. He rides his bicycle everywhere that he can, so that if he is coming to an area for you to do a talk about his paranormal club, where they go out and they do investigations, paranormal investigations, he will ride his bike there. He also does a lot of the tours at the Piper Museum, which is the Piper Cub Piper is a plane, is a type of plane that used to be built exclusively in Lock Haven, but due to some issues with unions and some other things, they opted to move to Florida, which is where Piper is now made. But Lou Bernard does a lot of things around the community. He goes out and does talks about ghost stories, and he actually lives in a haunted house and has got some EVP readings of that, and you can actually hear a little girl say, "Come on, let's play." But this is talking about a building, and it is called the Apocalypse Cow. I love this place. I've been writing about the history of Lock Haven for over a decade, and it's been amazing. And one of the things I love most about it is that no matter how much I learn, there's always more. I've been studying the country's history for something like 13 years, and still people come out of the woodwork with new details and little mysteries for me to discover. For this one, I have to thank Tina Kleinfelter, and Tina is an excellent knitter. She's in our prayer shawl group. Tina also writes for the Express. If you pause in reading this column and look around for a couple of pages, you may see her. Tina stopped by at work one day with a story she thought I'd enjoy, and she was right. I got a laugh out of it, and I absolutely had to write it up for a column. If you're reading this, chances are you've been down East Main Street thousands of times. Thousands. I know I have. You've probably glanced up and seen the Bull Durham mural on the side of the Simon Building. I'm sure most people have taken just a second to glance that way. But have you ever really looked at it? I never did. Not really. Until Tina came and told me the story, and then I had to go and take a look. The Simon Building on the south side of East Main Street was built in the late 1800s as a grocery store for Amelia Simon and her sons, immigrants from Germany who started a business. It was the first building in Lock Haven to have steam heat. On the east side overlooking the street is a big ad for Bull Durham tobacco. A mural that shows the Bull Durham brand name with a large bull standing in a field, partly behind a fence. It's the fence that's kind of the point here. W.T. Blackwell was the head of the company. He had 4 artists who were assigned to travel the world, painting these murals in an ad campaign. They traveled all over the country and even Europe and Asia, but the one I'm most concerned with is right here in Lock Haven. Now, I'm a little fuzzy on the time frame here. This seems to be a program that spanned quite a few years, but based on the available information, I'm reasonably sure the mural was being painted in Lock Haven sometime around the very early 1900s. The building it's on was built in 1883, so that doesn't help me. One of the artists was a man who went under the name of Reuben Rink, which was shockingly somewhat less absurd than his actual name. He had a pretty brilliant marketing plan with these things, in which he made sure to paint the bull as definitely anatomically correct and very well endowed. Yes, I'm actually going there after my friendly women column a couple of weeks ago. Rink would then hang around the community for a while and see what happened. Often an outcry would go up in the newspapers. I haven't found any specific examples of this in the Express, but it's pretty likely they received a few complaints. If nobody started an outcry, Rink would contact the paper and begin his own, turning up some controversy under an assumed name. It's likely that this happened during the term of Mayor John Cupper. Cupper was an ex-sheriff and a very law and order sort of guy. I'm amused at the idea of all of this landing in his lap. Once the protests had drawn plenty of attention to the bull and therefore to Bull Durham tobacco, Rink would return and paint the fence. He would strategically paint it to block out the X-rated parts, thereby satisfying everyone who complained, or didn't, as the case may be. But sometimes the work was a little bit slapdash. At times he didn't quite cover the whole thing. And if you walk up Main Street and look at the mural, yes, you can still see just a little bit of the sensitive bull parts up there, peeking out from underneath the fence. This seems to have happened in a few communities around the world, which means that Lock Haven has a fascinating piece of history in the form of an amusing and successful marketing campaign. And that's no bull. So you can see that Lou does a lot in this community, and it's a funny mural. I'm going to show you the mural, and after the mural, I'm going to take you into the fire hall, where we actually store our quilts and things, and then that'll be the end of this video. So I hope you enjoy. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow, I'm planning on putting a shout out video for some new channels. So I hope that you'll check those new channels out. And yeah, everybody have a great week. And remember, choose kindness. And there is that bull that we were talking about in the story. You can still see the parts. Kind of interesting. Never noticed that you could still see the dangly parts. Okay, everybody. See you later. Bye. First, you have to walk through the doors to the back bay. And then, of course, there's the guy's turnout gear. And one of the trucks. And then we have this little corner. We have all kinds of boxes, totes that are filled with quilts. We have extra fabrics here. We've got some extra totes that we're waiting to fill. They do have a sewing machine here, but it weighs about 19 pounds, so it's out of my weight limit. We have the area up on top of these cabinets, and then we have this entire cabinet that we can store items in. And then we have a couple of ironing boards there. But that is our corner. And that's where we stash a lot of stuff. But the fun part is getting to go back here and look at the trucks. Got a couple of really nice trucks. They do have a MICU, I believe, over here. Well, they can use it as a MICU because they do have equipment and everything. But it's a pretty nice little area. It's an old firehouse. Of course, we can get ice anytime we want. They do have freezers back here that sometimes when we're having events, they allow us to stick things. But that's it. And then we walk up out through the doorway into the barrel.